I'm Serhat Ahmet. You might recognise me from some of the BBC Antiques programmes, Antiques Roadshow, Antiques Road Trip. I'm also a dealer. And today I'm with Charlotte Packer, editor of Homes and Antiques magazine, and we are at the Festival of Antiques, the IACF's biggest fair, and in fact the biggest fair in the UK, and we have bumped into each other.
Who'd have thought? As if it was planned.
Yeah, I mean, we were just chatting actually about, you know, what are the merits of antiques and interior design, and how do you put them together?
Yeah, and that sense, I think sometimes people have this idea that buying antiques, it's a world purely for the collector and the specialist. But in fact, I think most people, if they look around their homes, they find they've got that old chair that belonged to their granny, they've got a little box somewhere that somebody has given them, a favourite tea set, and all of those things make their home, and then buying other pieces like that, older, sometimes sort of in a different area, it kind of opens up your home to, I don't know, just a sort of more varied style.
Absolutely.
I mean, one that's not high street.
Exactly. Something different, something a bit more original. And you know, I find a lot that people that buy from me are, you know, sometimes collectors. They will be specifically looking for a certain porcelain figurine or a certain design on a cup and saucer. But then there's always the people that have come in and said, do you know what, I just really want an accent in this room. I just want a porcelain vase that I can put in the corner or something I can use.
Do you find that they're buying things sometimes to go with something else that they already have, that perhaps they've picked something up or they've been given a thing and they then want something else that sort of will make sense of it or to complement it, or that they're drawn to you because they want to know more about it?
I think the thing that we notice most in this world is that if someone has come to look at an antique or a piece of vintage, they've been drawn into it. They haven't stumbled across a big antiques fair by accident. They may have done, but we are destinations, and people want to come and learn the specialist knowledge of the specialist dealer, and also to have a good rummage around. I think that's the great thing about a fair like this, is that you can find a specialist dealer that can tell you everything you need to know about that Moorcroft vase, or you can find a general dealer who's got all sorts of things, maybe done a house clearance, you know, and could have something that they don't know about, and you've spotted an absolute diamond.
That's the real thrill, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to find, you don't know who you're going to meet. And I think also the other thing is that where perhaps going into a dealer's shop can feel a little bit intimidating. People have this anxiety that there's pressure to buy, and sometimes you don't know what it is that you want, you're just curious. Coming to somewhere like this, you can wander around, you can engage with whoever you want to, you can double back, you can compare different things, and you've got the equivalent of, I don't know, taking a whole tour of the country, haven't you, in one place, in terms of the reach that it has. And then also you can put things together because you can see that accent piece, and then you can see something else that will go with it. And by the end of the afternoon, you maybe have transformed a room, perhaps. I mean, that's what one hopes.
I mean, you really touched a great point there. So even my collectors, even they will buy a piece of porcelain from me, an oil painting from my neighbour, a bit of furniture from someone else, and they don't, and some silver maybe, they're not just buying one thing, they're just, they want a bit of this and a bit of that, and they want to bring it all together in their own taste and present what they've curated.
Well, that's it. I was going to touch on the whole sort of curation aspect, because the other thing is some of the stands will be a kind of an amazing mishmash that really has that kind of magpie thing about it, and others really will be carefully curated, and you might look at a thing that somewhere else you would think, that's just not my taste, but once you see 3 or 4 together, it makes sense of whatever it happens to be, and suddenly you feel a bit excited by it, and then that's the dealer that you can have a longer conversation with. And I think most dealers they're enthusiasts, aren't they?
They are.
So they want to talk about the stuff. So it's a bit like having access, I don't know, to someone like the V&A and being able to talk to specialists one-to-one, and you just get so much from it, I think.
Definitely. And you know, specialist dealers, or speak to any dealer in the real world, helps you edit, helps you think more carefully about what your interior looks like or what you want to try and achieve.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
And the great thing about antiques is even if you bought the wrong piece, you can sell it again.
Oh, and that's it, because that's it. They're part of a continuum, aren't they? I mean,
are.
by their very nature, they are green in a way and sustainable, and they come with wonderful stories attached to them, and you become part of that story as you pass it on to someone else. And whereas, I mean, not to do down the high street and the department stores, you know, you want that mix, but these are things that once you've bought them, they don't lose their value. I mean, the market may, you know, fluctuate, but the point is, it isn't like buying a particular table that you've then got to put together over the course of a weekend. And you know, yeah, I think it's you become part of that history, I think, which is just a lovely thing. And I think the stories behind things we hear again and again from readers and from the houses that we feature in the magazine, that people always talk about. It's the stories in the pieces. It sort of gives them soul, and it then gives their home that kind of sense of life. And
the provenance of something is more valuable than the piece itself sometimes.
Quite often,
you know, and you become a part of that provenance. You're the custodian of that piece for as long as it's in your care.
Yes.
And then it gets passed on. How wonderful!
Yeah. It's a great thing. So you need to come here this weekend.
And it's on twice a year, so look out for the dates on the IACF website and come and enjoy what we're doing today.